Sure. Valium helps you relax.
To look at Pete and Amos Briggs at their father's funeral, you'd hardly believe what happened to them soon after. Hardly believe that two brothers who were once so close could end up so far apart, treating each other like bitter enemies and dividing the whole community of Pigeon Inlet. And all over something the poor old man had left him in his will. Might as well get this over with before church, boys. This is the last will and testament of Skipper Simeon Briggs. Being a poor fisherman who doesn't have much to will, my soul I leave to my Maker's care, and all the rest to my two sons, Peter and Amos. Pete, being the older, should have the house and garden. Amos, my fishing boat and gear. My tools and toolbox I leave to both my sons, and the halves to share and share alike. Signed, Simeon Briggs, witness Josiah Bartle. But that's it, boys. Just like the skipper, right to the point.
Just like him. Might as well bring him out.
Pete, look at this. These two got engaged last night.
You're not mad, are you, Pop? The poor grandfather only buried last week.
No, Tina, child, life goes on. But sure, what's the rush? You had it planned for October.
Because I got a chance of a job up in Labrador in September.
Now, Willis, if you want to ask for the lady's hand proper, then you're going to have to slow down so her father can understand you.
Because I got a chance of a job up in Labrador in September.
Oh, good. Still, Reverend Hudson is planning to tour the whole coast this month. I'm not sure he's going to have time to marry you.
Oh, Dad, put in a good word for us, will you?
Okay. I got to thank him for Pop's funeral service. I'll speak to him tonight. Nothing wrong with you, Tina, is there?
No, for heaven's sake.
Now, you make sure you respect my daughter, Willis.
Oh, yes, sir. No worries about that. No worries about it, Mr. Briggs.
Now, you two go on, look. Tell Grandma. She'll want to be the first to know. Pete, when are you going to be finished with that screwdriver? Tildy's after me to get the storm windows down.
Time, and this summer's half over. Grab one of them other ones at the toolbox there, huh?
No, I need the big one. There's heavy screws in them windows.
Well, I'm going to need this one for another little while, Sprout. Them chairs all got to be taken apart and re-glued, and some of them got screws and need to be tightened.
Now, how long is that going to take?
Well, now, gee whiz, brother, I don't know for sure. A couple hours, I guess.
Well, I haven't got all day to sit around while you tighten every screw and every piece of furniture in this place.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, it is. And I got the right to that screwdriver whenever I wants it. It was left to me too, you know.
Well, so it was. But you're not getting my screwdriver unless and until I'm ready to give it to you. Now get that through your spitey little head.
Christmas time is a...
I gave 2 away. How many would I have left? 5. You stunned article. How much is 3 from 7?
4.
Well,
But the apple you ate is still down inside you.
Boys, we're supposed to be clearing this place up for a wedding, not carrying on. Looks like the screw is loose on this one too, Amos boy. Have you got your screwdriver?
Well, there you are. Getting the place ready, Eli?
The women are coming in tonight to scrub up, Pete. You must have caught Reverend Hudson in a good mood.
well, boys, we got the wedding cake anyway.
You don't put candles on a wedding cake, Dopey.
That's right. Should be a bride and groom.
Amos, what did you do with the auger from Father's toolbox? You came and got it yesterday with the screwdriver.
Boy, I lent it to Mose.
I needed to bore a hole in a stick for a prop for a clothesline. Emma Jane's washing everything in the house for the wedding.
Sorry, Pete boy, but I gave it to Jethro here to bring it back to you.
Oh, Sam Watkinson saw me with it, and he man the loan of it. I'll go and get it from him.
That's all right, Jethro. I told him he could borrow it for a week.
A week? Sam's working on his boat over in Sandy Cove. He's staying in the shack over there.
You got no right giving away my tools to everyone around this harbor.
Your tools. And you lent Lodge Bartle the hacksaw yesterday, didn't you? And he broke the blade. Well, you make him buy a new one before you go mouthing off about my friend.
Lodge just bought me a new one at the store, but that's the last you'll see of it.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, you can use the old one. Or see if Lodge will buy you a new one, too.
Boys, take it easy. It's only an old brace and bit we're arguing
No,
over.
there's not, Eli. There's people looking after their own gear properly, not going around bumming everyone else's. Now, you finished with that big screwdriver yet?
No, I'm not. We're fixing a few loose table legs.
Well, I got a few chairs to finish back at the house.
Oh. Well, if you want the bloody thing, take it.
I will. And that's the last time you'll get your hands on it.
This is going to be some lovely family wedding. I can see that now.
Things went from bad to worse that afternoon. When Amos' wife, Tildy, got into it with Pete's housekeeper, Emma Jane Bartle. And Tildy found out that when it came to temper and stubbornness, Emma Jane was worse than Pete himself.
Having trouble with your wash, Emma Jane?
I wouldn't be if your Amos hadn't lent Pete's best auger to Sam Watkinson, so he can't fix that prop pole for me.
Well, I hope my plan will put a stop to all this foolishness.
Plan? What plan?
I plan to lock the toolbox in the shed where it belongs, and then nobody can go around lending things to anybody else. And then maybe we'll have some peace here.
Here, wait a minute. Pete's not home. You can't go in the house and take that box.
It's my husband's toolbox too, Emma Jane.
There, and she took the key with her.
Cruel smart he is now, sending his wife up here to do that. Let's see him get in there now if he wants to lend any more tools around the harbor.
The Mountie was pretty level-headed about it all when Pete called him in. He said as how there was no death duties to be paid. It didn't directly concern the law. And Amos was only trying to protect his property. He suggested Pete go see a lawyer in St. John's. But Emma Jane said that'd be another case of the monkey and the cats.
Well, I suggest you might get
Anyway,
right.
everybody was getting pretty busy preparing for the big wedding.
Sorry. Good idea.
It was only a few days after that it took place.
Thank you, Nellie. That was lovely. On behalf of Tina and Willis, I'd like to finish by saying thank you all for your presence and your good wishes, folks. And a special thanks to Reverend Hudson here for taking time out from a busy coastal tour to marry these young ones.
Thank you. I won't hold up the celebration. In fact, the boat is waiting for me. But I would like to take this opportunity to say what a pleasure it was to accommodate those loving brothers who are among the most respected and dignified and church-supporting people of Pigeon Inlet. May God bless the bride and groom.
Now, Pete, Amos agreed.
What's going on, boys? There's no trouble now, is there?
No, Lloyd, there's no trouble.
I was just wondering if there was anything I could do.
Look, Lloyd, why don't you go on back inside and mind your own business?
All right, I will.
Now, Pete, Amos agrees that if the clergyman thinks you two are respectable, upstanding citizens, you should start acting like it. So why don't you both shake hands, and we'll all go back and enjoy the wedding.
I'll be respectable, Eli. When he gets sensible and takes them padlocks off my tool shed.
You take yours off first.
Don't tell me what to do with my property, Sprout.
I never did like that name, and I don't like it now.
Then why don't you grow up in your mind as well as in your body? Sprout.
Hey, swear.
young Amos was as strong as that to knock Pete out?
He's not. I was holding Pete's arm back by mistake.
Don't talk about it, will you, boys? Took me half a night to quiet down Reverend Hudson.
What's he blaming it all on you, is he?
Said I should mind my own business and leave peacekeeping to the clergy.
Still, we got to do something to stop that feud.
You're right, Jethro. Starting to tear the whole community apart. Now Emma Jane's not speaking to Tilly or Sophie Watkinson.
What are we going to do about it?
We could get rid of that toolbox.
No. That toolbox got the most valuable collection of tools on the coast.
Not as valuable as what we're destroying here, Eli. Friendship between two brothers.
You're right, Mose. Nothing's worth that. How do we get into that tool shed?
We might have the answer to that just coming in now.
I'll get the keys, Eli. If you take care of the thievery.
They're back.
Eli, I'm sorry about the racket last night. Guess it was all my fault.
Not really.
I know you were trying to get us together, but I guess it's just no use.
Well, I intend to keep on trying. Is that okay?
All right with me. Anything I can do to help out around here?
Too many cooks spoiling the broth here already.
Well, thanks for trying.
Amos, just a minute. What's the chance of getting in that tool shed of yours? Sam Watkinson wants to bore that auger again.
You tell Sam he can have that auger anytime he wants. Now, I got 3 padlocks on the shed, okay? Here's the keys to them. We'll have to get the other keys off Pete.
Thanks. I'll give it a try.
Eli, you figure out the next move. Leave him alone. A watch pot never boils.
Do you want them for anyway, Eli? Borrow a saw or something?
I want him to try to settle this foolish row between you and Amos.
How are you figuring to do that?
I don't know yet. But will you promise to go along with me? If I can think of a fair enough way.
Yes, why, I will. I think the whole thing's been my fault from the beginning. I'm older and should have better sense.
Yes, you should have. And old Sim should have had better sense, too, than to go leaving things on the Halves in the first place.
I don't want to suggest that Sim is there or anything, Emma Jane. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, like having her come to housekeep for me.
And what's that supposed to mean?
The next day, I had my plan ready. I managed to talk Pete and Amos into taking time off from their own chores to help me untangle my lobster gear from a drift net. At least that's what I told them, as they said in the skiff, still not talking to each other.
Well, he managed to get the two of them together in his skiff.
He did.
Where's the toolbox?
I'd say it's under that tarpaulin.
What's he going to do?
I don't know. But he better be careful. Because if them two starts fighting again, they're likely to drown the works.
Seems to be just about the right spot, boys.
Your lobster pots are a quarter of a mile down the shore.
It's too deep for lobstering here, Eli. It must be about 40 fathom of water.
Too deep for lobstering. But just about right for what we got to do.
We? You said you wanted some help with a problem.
Yes, but it's your problem, not mine.
Ours.
Well, I'd like to see you boys friends again. I got you out here to do something about it.
What are you going to do?
Something that's going to cost you both a little.
What's it going to cost me?
Nothing, really. Outside of a little pride.
Come on, Eli, I'm a busy man. I haven't got time for games.
You already promised to agree to any plan I got to settle around between you and Amos, eh, Pete?
What plan?
Never mind, Amos. Will you agree to my decision as to the best thing to do with that toolbox you two have been rowing over, so you can act like brothers again?
Yes, Eli, yes. And what are we supposed to do with it?
Get rid of the bloody thing. Pete scoured the bottom outside Pigeon Inlet for days, trying to hook up that old toolbox with a grapple. And although I never saw him at it, I had a feeling Amos was out searching too. But I waited a few weeks so they'd learn a good lesson before I told them that except for a few old blunt and rusty things, I'd emptied that toolbox before I pitched it overboard and hid most of the stuff under a blanket in Pete's shed. Then I made 'em share the tools out, even to each other, so there'd be no more on the Halves.
One died.